Can you just take us through the playoffs into Team USA and what kind of mindset that puts you in heading into this season?
Yeah, I feel like it puts me in a good mindset and a good position. You know, I've been, basically competing for the last, 2 months, other than when we got back. Obviously had some downtime to relax, rest, play golf. But, I feel like, kind of just carried everything over from the postseason to the USA stuff, and then, looking to do the same thing to start the year and really just, get the year started in the right way.
Good. As a quick follow-up to that, I know you're always just going to talk about it's just part of my game, et cetera, but you come into this media day, you're in the first photo with LeBron and AD. How different does it feel relative to rookie year, even last year, with what your role is on the team?
Rookie year, I got out of here a lot faster. Didn't have many people to talk to, not many pitchers. Definitely feels different, like you said, being in the picture with, Bron, AD, and then D'Lo. For me, it's still the same thing. Basketball is basketball, obviously. Being talked about in a different, situation or whatever you want to call it means I'm doing something right. And really just, hope to continue to get better and grow and, have a really good year this year.
Austin, when since you were away, when you came back and rejoined this team, did anybody change their bodies, or because you had like the perspective of being gone from the team this summer, did anybody really stick out to you? And then I guess secondly, having some continuity entering the season, who do you think that'll open up things for most? Who will that continuity really matter for?
Yeah, I think just seeing AD and the way AD's shooting the ball, as I've talked about on a podcast, and just the way he looks, the determination that he seems to have. I've talked with coaches, Wade's staff, and said he's been in a lot this summer as far as LeBron too. But just everybody, honestly. Rui looks good. He's in a good spot shooting the ball as well. And I don't remember your second question to that. Oh, yeah. I just did a podcast, too, and was talking about how I think it'll, help D'Lo. Just having, a structured, situation for him to feel really comfortable. Obviously he's, a very high-level talent and, has done a lot of things in the league. But just being able to go through, an off-season or, you can even start to last year, at the trade deadline, having that into the postseason and then now having an off-season, preseason training camp, all that to kind of build that foundation and really just give him a sense of mind of what we really are looking for out of him as a team, everything. And I expect for D'Lo to have a huge year this year.
Austin, we saw you have the ball more in your hands second half of last season into the playoffs. Game 1 against Memphis comes to mind. But Rob and Darvin last week were talking about potentially playing you more at point guard. So I want to ask, how comfortable are you in that role? And what have your conversations with Darvin been like in terms of potentially you being on the ball more this season?
Yeah, I feel really comfortable. Point guard is basically the position I've played my whole life until summer college, and then obviously the last couple of years. But I feel like that's something that kind of never leaves you. Me and Darv have had conversations about that as well. Just having a little more opportunity to initiate, start, and it doesn't really necessarily mean make a play every possession, but just kind of get us into what we need to get into and just kind of play that role. But like I've said a million times, we have so much talent on this team that every night it could be someone different, and it could be me, it could be D'Lo, Rui, like Gabe. Obviously Bron and AD is going to be Bron and AD. But like I said, so much talent, so much opportunity for everybody else. And we got to see that, as a big picture for us. We can't get caught up in individual things. Like, we have to, really accept what we have, and that's a lot of talent and a lot of guys that can, do that.
Austin, what's the biggest thing that you learned from your time with Team USA, and what's the one thing, if there's one, however many, that you hope translates in your game or your skill set from Team USA to the Lakers?
I learned a lot just being able to be around, basically all-stars, Hall of Fame coaches, Spo, Steve, and Ty Lue in the NBA, and just being able to see the way that they, prepare for games, the way that they, get ready, schemes and all that. Like, you can learn a lot if you really just sit back and listen. So it isn't really just one thing that I learned. It was really just a lot of different things that, maybe I could apply to, what I do on a daily basis to get prepared for games or practice or something like that.
Hi, Austin.
How you doing?
Doing good. When you look at your team, how good can you guys be, and how good can you be in the West when it's so competitive?
We obviously think that we have enough to, compete to win a championship. Obviously, we haven't played a game yet. We got to take it, one game at a time, and can't look that far forward. But having that, playoff push last year, Western Conference Finals, just getting that taste is really, that's all you could really think about. I mean, for me, especially, like, I just want to get back to that point and more. But I feel like we have an opportunity to do something special, and a bunch of guys that, are really unified to doing that. That's all that really matters to us.
Yeah, Austin, going around town, is there any specific example of a time when you said you realized you're a celebrity and that people know you?
Not necessarily here, because I haven't been here this summer. Obviously traveling with Team USA, but kind of that whole experience, starting Spain to the Philippines. Just the ovations, I wasn't really able to really go anywhere in the Philippines, especially. Anytime I walked out of the room into the lobby, it was pictures, autographs, and if you know me, like, very, low-key, state of myself kind of person. So it was really just that, just getting out, into a different country and just seeing that, people actually know who I am. It was an unbelievable experience and something that was cool to me.
Hey, Austin, Jacob Chose, ABC7. With Coach Ham announcing you and D'Lo as the starting backcourt, what was it like sharing the court with him last season, and how well do you guys feel like you complement each other?
It was great. I've said many a times that, D'Lo was a big reason for, me kind of making that jump, after the trade deadline. Just the confidence that he brought to me, the, freedom that he, preaches you to play with, that you can see the confidence that he has, and that, trickles off to everybody. So, he was major for what, I did, going down the stretch, every time out, every time, I was struggling or anything, he was the first person in my ear telling me to let it go, to go be myself, and, just be confident in what I could do. So super excited to, get this year kicked off, especially playing alongside him.
Hey, Austin, back here, all the way back. Hey, you've gotten a lot of attention this year, obviously, between kind of the end of the playoffs through the Team USA stuff. What do you think people were able to learn about you during that time, and what do you think they still don't get or don't really understand?
That's a great question. Hopefully everybody's learned that, you see what you get. Nothing, I feel like is going to change me from being me. You could go with the pregame fits, still going to be hoodies and sweats. And that's really, the only thing I could think of as far as, what I would hope everybody to understand. But it's been an amazing, last 6 months for me, my family, and something that I'll always remember.
Thanks, Austin.
Perfect. Appreciate y'all.